Goo goo gaga. Please like and subscribe.
I fooled myself into thinking I could date someone with a kid. I'm sorry if this isn't the place to post this. I have been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years now. In the beginning I told him I didn't want kids. He told me he had a child, and he has full custody of him. In the beginning it was just for fun, and then a relationship formed. I told myself I would be fine dating someone with a kid. For almost 2 years I haven't been like a stepmom or anything. There have been a few times I've tried to interject and he shut me down, saying it was between him and his son. Now my boyfriend wants to have a serious talk about us moving in together. I thought about it on my own. Now I think I'm coming up to the bridge that I said I would cross later. If I were to move in with him, I would also be moving in with his son. However, the thought of that doesn't sit right with me. Because before I was just the girlfriend who would visit 2 times a week. Now I would be the girlfriend who is there every day. I would probably have to share some of the responsibilities, such as picking him up or dropping him off at school. Every day I would have to take into consideration about what would his son eat. Helping him make food, because, I'm not gonna lie, my boyfriend has coddled him a bit. All of these thoughts of being a stepmom upset me. I don't want to be one. I don't want to have a responsibility of a kid. I honestly never saw this relationship lasting this long. Now that it has, I am regretting it.
Don't do it. I repeat. Don't do it.
Quote. All of these thoughts of being a stepmom upset me. End quote. So think of it this way. If the thoughts alone are upsetting, actually doing it will be every bit, if not more, upsetting. I think you probably already know that. I have the same feelings every time an invasive thought about being a mother comes into my brain. No matter what angle I imagine it from, all I can feel is misery. And this is just imagining it. And this is not something you can try and back out if it is indeed as miserable as you think it will be. Even in your case, trying comes with a lot of baggage and emotions and a huge potential for resentment and hurt feelings. I am sorry you regret investing as much time into it all as you did. I know that feeling. Just don't let it justify dumping more futile efforts into it. As someone who has been a stepmom in the past, here's my advice. Run. If you don't want children, stepkids are terrible, as you resent them when they are there and live for the days they aren't. That's not happiness. That's a prison. Oh, you came here just for a confirmation, girl? You know already what you should do. I did the same thing, and I was miserable when we moved in together. He told me I didn't have to be a stepmom, I could just be a friend. That changed. He was only an every other weekend and 1 day a week dad, and it was still too much. I just don't want the parenting stuff. It confirmed my child-free choice is right for me, though. Go visit the r/stepparents forum if you are really considering. Oh honey, get out of that relationship. You're 25, he's in his goddamn 40s, and his son is closer to your age than he is. There are tons of awesome child-free guys in their 20s and 30s who will jump at the chance to date you. Don't waste your time on a middle-aged dad.
You are child-free and don't want to be a stepmom. He has a child. That is a huge, base-level incompatibility. Dump his ass and run.
Not only are your lifestyles wildly incompatible, but, and don't take this as me talking down to you or condescending you or whatever, I'm pretty much your age. Him being 40 plus and wanting to date someone in their mid-20s is such a huge red flag. I'll bet my butt that he only wants you to move in so he can unload his responsibilities onto you, and you specifically because you're young, and that's an ego booster for him. You need to run for the hills now before it's too late, before you've given up your place and made it physically difficult for you to get out when shiz inevitably hits the fan. He already told you that issues are between him and his son. If you move in, it will be a nightmare. I lived with a boyfriend who had a small child, and after we got an apartment, the mom would dump her on us for days or weeks and disappear. He was a pretty awful parent. I'd gently try to help, and all I'd get was, "You're not her parent." You know, unless she needed to be picked up, or he needed me to watch her. She was a good kid despite her rather poor parental situation, but it was a nightmare.
Oh, you need to leave. The fact that he still tried with you knowing he had a son, He's also the issue. If you gotta sit here and contemplate about it online, it's probably best to leave. No one is gonna tell you to stay in a child-free group.
DTMFA. Dump the mother effer already. Find a child-free dude in your age group. They do exist.
Goo goo gaga.
My father said the best thing my sister ever did was getting pregnant. Guys, I need to rant a little. My sister recently turned 30 and we had a dinner party for her with some family members on Saturday. She also happens to be pregnant with her first child. My father stood up to give a speech where he related some memories, spoke of her accomplishments in reverse chronological order. So he started his speech with saying how excited he was over the pregnancy, since it had just recently been announced. As he was moving on to other events in her life, he prefaced it with, "She has done a lot of other things in her life, but nothing has probably been as important as carrying a child." Upon hearing this, I loudly went, "What?" And the people around the dining table giggled at my reaction. This is a woman who has a master's degree in engineering, has an amazing career, is both creative with an eye for design and art as well as excelling in maths and physics, and managed the amazing feat of doing a ski race, a marathon, a cycling race and a swimming race within 1 year. I can't believe that my father reduced her life down to her ability of getting pregnant. I felt so bad for her. It completely removes her agency and personality and narrows her worth as a human to her biological functions. It's some of the worst pronatalist bullshit I've heard, and it came straight from my own father's mouth.
Damn, that's awful. If my dad said that about me, I'd be tempted to slap him across the face.
Hey Seuss. Those are some huge accomplishments, that's so shitty.
Quote. But nothing has probably been as important as carrying a child. Tell me you have low standards without saying you have low standards.
None of her achievements measure up to that time she took a cream pie.
Even my blood is boiling after reading this. Anyone can get pregnant. Not everyone can accomplish everything your sister has.
Your sister sounds like a truly amazing woman. It's disgusting your dad has overlooked those efforts and decided being a baby incubator is the most important thing.
That is effing terrible. I wonder how your sister felt about being diminished like that. Reproducing is just the result of having sex, it's not that big of an accomplishment. Billions of women have done it. Hell, bunnies are good at it, yet we don't applaud them. All she's worked for and actually accomplished takes a lifetime of dedication and effort. And all of it was swept aside by her own father. How ignorant can people be?
Goo goo gaga. That's parenting. It's not adulting. This is exactly what I said to my old college buddy as we were trying to schedule a time to meet up for coffee. The text conversation went like this. I texted. Hey. My partner is curious about how you started your business and the ins and outs of it. Would you be willing to meet up for coffee sometime? My friend texted. Sure. My schedule is a nightmare, but I'm sure I can find some time. Did you have a date and time? I texted. No. We just talked about it yesterday. My friend texted. Okay. Usually Saturday and Sunday afternoons are kind of open. Or even afternoon midweek. Just depends on where we're meeting up at. Wednesday evenings are usually open too. The wife still works evenings and overnights, although it is from home. I have Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday as softball practice/lesson nights with the kiddo. Also hockey started back up, so Friday and Saturday evenings are taken most weekends. God. Adulting? But hey. One day I'll retire about 10 years before I die with a body and brain that has been beaten to mush. Yeah, capitalism? I texted. That's parenting. Not adulting. To be fair, he laughed. Oh, and guys, he has one kid. So any fence sitters out there who are considering compromising and having just one. This is your future. I can't even imagine my schedule, all of my free time, being taken up by someone else like that. And for boring activities on top of it. And the fact that people think this is adulting, meaning it's inevitable when you're an adult. But hey, at least they are good parents, which is more than I can say for most. I just thought I'd share this funny little exchange. Goo goo gaga.
I see through your fake positivity on social media. I always see tons of young moms posting things like it hasn't been easy. I've laughed and cried often. I've had to make a lot of sacrifices, but my little miracle is so worth it. Like yes, enjoy your little miracle screaming constantly, breaking things, getting everything dirty and gross, and asking too many questions while I enjoy going to the grocery store alone, going out for drinks with friends and my fiancé, and traveling whenever I want. Posts like these always reinforce my decision to be child-free.
And the bullshit-o-meter just imploded. My best friend always says stuff like this. I know it's a way to only convince herself of it. Meanwhile, she mentions in every conversation to me about how she can't believe she was going to abort her second kid, born last year during that vid, but didn't because she would have had to go to the abortion place twice and didn't want to drag her 3-year-old there with her because she's a bit much.
There are 8 billion people on this planet. Having a baby is not even close to a miracle.
They are allowed to think like that, as long as they don't say she's like, people without kids don't know what they're missing. It's just not a lifestyle for everyone. Happy people don't need to convince themselves or their Facebook friends that they are happy. Hell, if it wasn't dark outside, I could get up and walk for miles and not have to worry about a kid. I'm hoping to move back into a city sooner rather than later. So I can't wait to be able to just get up and go to a coffee shop. A few days ago I saw a pic on Facebook. My ex-colleague got pregnant from a douchebag. She is expecting soon. She is the second oldest from 4 sisters. So the pic, the oldest sister is also pregnant. Now I expect the third sis to also get knocked up as she has been pestering her BF for a kid for years when the guy is not the worst but generally is a jerk. The second sister has a handful of illnesses, so she plans to dump the kids on her family, mainly mother, when she can't take care of the kid during a bad episode. The first one lives in a flat that's not big enough for 4 people. I don't know if they consider moving, but the housing market is bullshit right now. The government skyrocketed the price by handing out a lot of money. You just had to sign a contract to pop out 3 kids at least. Today at work, shutters were already down after closing when I heard a boy in the corridor on the other side screaming repeatedly and banging on the shutter doors. I heard a female voice saying, "Tom, you need to stop screaming," but it fell on deaf ears. Then I heard him threaten her, "I'll kick you if you don't get me it." After that they went away, so I don't know what happened, but this child was straight up threatening violence if he didn't get whatever item he wanted. We just sell vitamins, body creams, sleep aids and stuff, no food or toys, so I don't know what the kid wanted. Imagine being sold the idea of unconditional love. It's all worth it. My kids are the best thing to happen to me, giving your body, time and energy to raise this person, and they threaten violence towards you to manipulate you. Huge pass. Seems like a cult rather than a bond of love.
Goo goo gaga.
No, I don't want to hold your baby. Just wondering if anyone else has this problem. Someone asks if you want to hold their newborn baby and you say no thanks, and they plop it in your arms. Family and friends, I might make an exception, but people that I don't even know will do this. No means no. And why the F would you put your newborn baby in a stranger's arms? It was my boyfriend's niece, who I had literally just met. I just don't get it.
When they ask you if you want to hold a baby, say no thanks, while you take a step back. If you're sitting, slide further away. Or keep your arms crossed if they try to hand you a baby. Or clasp your hands behind your back. At that point you can't even bring your arms up to catch them by sheer instinct if they try to shove the baby against you, which I've had happen, so they really cannot let go of their child and are forced to remain responsible for it themselves. Humorous alternative: Just enthusiastically imitate a wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing tube man while quoting German philosophers. Literally nobody will want to be within your proximity. Works great in the break room at work, too. And when religious people come knocking at your door with pamphlets. Kind of works with coyotes.
Like. I just gently place it on the ground probably. This is actually super effective. I also just keep my hands full or busy around babies, or keep them behind my back so they can't just thrust it into my arms. Whenever someone says anything around the lines of, "Do you want to hold her or him?" I put my hands up, back away, and loudly say, "No, no, 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 no." And if they still try to force it on me, I will, literally, run away.
I almost always hold something else in my arms for this exact reason, whether it be a coat or a bag or my cats. I also like to cross my arms and seem uninviting so that I don't appear as a good baby holder. If someone asks me, I can go, "Sorry, my hands are full," and move on. Just throw up your arms, scream and run away. This is the best. If there's an infant in the same room, I usually put my hands in my pockets or arms behind my back. That way if they even try to give me the kid, they drop it because hell no, I'm not holding it. I keep my hands in my pockets and say no thank you. If I'm sitting, I'll stand up so they can't plop it in my lap.
Cross your arms and step away if they attempt to approach you.
My friend once compared this to someone handing you a leaking bag of garbage. God, I'm not going to lie, this post just made me relive those situations and they're so effing annoying. Like, no Jan, not everyone in the world likes your kid and will go mushy over them. Like, you don't see me pushing my pets onto others, even though, to me, they're the most precious creatures in the world. Just keep them to yourself, thank you very much. Also, thank you to everyone who replied with advice on how to avoid these situations. I just straight up say I do not like kids and move away, but thankfully I'll have more tactful ways to avoid them now.
Please like and subscribe.